What to Expect When You're Expecting by Heidi Murkoff with Sharon Maisel. Some moments in life hit you like a wave you never saw coming. Falling head over heels in love for the first time. Closing the door on your childhood home and stepping into the unknown. But there's one moment that stands alone. A moment that splits your life into before and after. It's quiet. Almost impossibly so. It's the feeling of a tiny hand gripping your finger with surprising strength, the weight of a small head nestled perfectly against your chest, that indescribable newborn smell that somehow bypasses your brain and goes straight to your heart. Right then, everything shifts. You're not just living your own story anymore. You're someone's entire world. But here's the thing. That moment doesn't begin under hospital lights with doctors counting down. It starts much, much earlier. It begins with a whisper, a question that millions of people ask themselves every single year, usually while pacing nervously in a bathroom. Am I actually pregnant? And that question arrives carrying a wild cocktail of excitement, hope, and let's be honest, absolute terror. For generations, that question led to a flood of others, usually answered by your grandmother's weird remedies, your aunt's well-meaning but completely outdated advice, or those clinical medical books that somehow made pregnancy sound like a disease. There was this huge gap, a desperate need for something that spoke to both your body and your freaking out mind. A friend who'd calm you down at 3 a.m, when you felt some bizarre new twinge, a guide who'd walk beside you through the most mind-blowing transformation a human can go through. In 1984, Heidi Murkoff found herself drowning in that gap. She was pregnant for the first time, full of questions nobody seemed able to answer in a way that actually helped. So she did something remarkable. While she was growing her daughter Emma, she was simultaneously creating a book. That book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, went on to sell over 14 million copies and became the #1 best-selling pregnancy guide of all time. It wasn't just popular. It became a phenomenon, earning the nickname Pregnancy Bible from an entire generation of grateful parents. Today, we're diving into the heart of this game-changing guide. This isn't some dry biology lecture about cells and chromosomes. We're talking about the experience, the real human journey. By the time we're done, you'll understand the absolutely mind-blowing story of how a new life develops from basically nothing into a fully formed human. You'll have a roadmap for navigating the wild physical and emotional roller coaster of 9 months. And you'll see why having the right guide can transform that fear of the unknown into genuine, quiet confidence. So buckle up. We're about to embark on one of humanity's most incredible adventures. Every epic story starts with a choice, a decision that sets everything else in motion. For many people, the parenthood story doesn't actually begin with a positive pregnancy test. It starts way earlier, with the quiet decision to try for a family. Heidi Murkoff makes it crystal clear. This journey begins with preparation. Think about it like preparing for a space mission. You wouldn't just jump into a rocket ship and cross your fingers, right? You'd spend months getting into peak physical condition, studying every detail, making sure all systems were ready for launch. That's exactly the philosophy behind the book's guidance on what it calls preconception. It's getting ready time for both would-be moms and dads. The book gently suggests starting with a doctor's visit, not just for the usual physical, but for a real conversation. You'll look at your health history, dig into your family tree for any genetic curveballs, and get any ongoing health issues like asthma or diabetes under the best possible control. There's even advice to visit the dentist, because surprisingly, your mouth health connects directly to pregnancy health. And here's something important. The book emphasizes that the father-to-be's role is absolutely critical. This isn't a solo mission. His health, his diet, his lifestyle, all of it feeds into the genetic blueprint of this future child. Murkoff talks about this period as team-building time. Stop birth control together. Improve your diets as a unit. Cut back on things like alcohol and smoking, not as some grim sacrifice, but as the very first gift you're giving your future kid. You're building the healthiest possible foundation before construction even begins. Then comes the big question, the one hanging in the air with a mix of excitement and stomach-churning anxiety. Am I pregnant? The book walks you through these early, uncertain days with the calm voice of a good friend. It explains the first whispers your body sends out, the subtle signals that something new is brewing. Your breasts might feel tender, way more than usual before your period. Your sense of smell might suddenly become superhuman, detecting last week's leftovers from across the house. You might feel a profound, bone-deep exhaustion that makes walking up a single flight of stairs feel like climbing Everest. These aren't random annoyances. They're signals that your body's incredible machinery is firing up. Murkoff explains that the only way to know for sure is a pregnancy test. Today's home tests are remarkably accurate, working by detecting a hormone called HCG that your body starts pumping out almost immediately after a fertilized egg settles into your uterine wall. The book offers simple, powerful advice. If you see a line, even the faintest one, you're pregnant. That barely there line is the whisper becoming crystal clear. Once you're holding that positive test, a new chapter opens. The first call to the doctor, the first appointment, and the calculation of your due date. Here's something fascinating. The book clarifies. Your pregnancy countdown, that 40-week journey, doesn't start from conception day. It starts from the first day of your last period. Kind of weird, right? It means for the first 2 weeks of your pregnancy, you're not actually pregnant yet, but it's the standard way doctors create a reliable timeline for the incredible events ahead. With the journey confirmed, the book guides you through one of your most important decisions, choosing your healthcare partner, your practitioner. This could be an obstetrician, a family doctor, or a midwife. Murkoff doesn't push you toward any particular choice. Instead, she empowers you to find your right fit. It's like choosing a guide for a long expedition through unknown territory. You want someone you trust, someone whose philosophy meshes with yours, someone who actually listens, someone who makes you feel safe. The book provides a list of questions to ask, encouraging you to think about what kind of birth experience resonates with you. Do you want a low-tech, natural approach? Or does a high-tech hospital setting make you feel more comfortable? There are no universally right answers, only what's right for you. And with that, the real adventure begins. Month 1. It's a time of silent, microscopic miracles. You don't look pregnant. You might not even feel pregnant yet. But inside, an epic story is unfolding on a cellular stage. It starts with ovulation, the release of a single egg. This egg travels down the fallopian tube, where, if timing is perfect, it meets a sperm. Out of millions competing, only one succeeds. In that moment of fertilization, a unique genetic code springs into existence, the complete blueprint for a new human being. This single cell, called a zygote, immediately begins dividing. It splits into 2 cells, then 4, then 8, multiplying like crazy, while making a several-day journey from the fallopian tube down to the uterus. By the end of week 1, it's become a tiny hollow ball of cells, called a blastocyst. It's no bigger than the period at the end of this sentence. This microscopic ball of future you then performs its next miracle, implantation. It burrows into the rich, nourishing lining of your uterus, establishing the connection that'll sustain it for 9 months. Right then, the cells split into 2 groups. One half becomes the placenta, the baby's life support system. The other half? That becomes your son or daughter. By the end of month 1, this little being, now called an embryo, is still only the size of a poppy seed, but it's already astonishingly complex. It has 3 distinct layers. The inner layer will form the digestive system, liver, and lungs. The middle layer becomes the heart, bones, kidneys, and muscles. The outer layer forms the nervous system, skin, hair, and eyes. The amniotic sac, the baby's protective watery home, is forming. The heart, just 2 tiny channels at this stage, is beginning to beat. All of this happens before you've even missed a period. It's an entire universe of creation happening in complete silence. As you enter month 2, development happens at breathtaking speed. Your baby, still looking more like a tiny tadpole than a human, grows to the size of an orange seed. The circulatory system is first to become fully operational. The neural tube, which will become the brain and spinal cord, begins closing. This is exactly why the B vitamin folic acid is so crucial in these early weeks. By week 6, your baby is the size of a nailhead, but in that tiny form, the jaw, cheeks, and chin are taking shape. Small dots appear where eyes will be. Kidneys, liver, and lungs begin forming. And that tiny heart? It's now beating 80 times a minute. By week 7, your baby is 10,000 times bigger than at conception. It's the size of a blueberry. New brain cells are generating at a staggering rate of 100 cells per minute. Tiny buds that'll become arms and legs begin sprouting. By the end of month 2, your little one is the size of a raspberry. Lips, nose, and eyelids are forming. That heart is now beating at an incredible 150 times per minute, twice as fast as yours. The baby is even making its first spontaneous movements. Tiny twitches you can't feel yet, but they're the first signs of a life getting ready to move and groove. While all this is happening, your body is working massive overtime, and you're definitely starting to feel it. The book explains that the profound fatigue so many women experience is your body's response to one of the most monumental construction projects imaginable, building the placenta. This organ is your baby's lifeline, and your body is pouring enormous energy into creating it. Hormones are surging everywhere, causing everything from mood swings that make regular PMS look tame to the notorious nausea of morning sickness. Murkoff offers wonderfully practical advice for this phase. To combat morning sickness, she suggests eating small, frequent meals. An empty stomach, she explains, is a queasy stomach. Keep crackers by your bed. Nibble something before your feet even hit the floor in the morning. She talks about food cravings and aversions, reminding you it's perfectly normal to suddenly hate a food you've always loved, or crave something bizarre like pickles mixed with ice cream. These are your body's strange hormonal signals, and it's okay to listen to them. Within reason, of course. Moving into month 3, your baby officially graduates from embryo to fetus. At 9 weeks, it's about an inch long, the size of a green olive, but its features are becoming more defined. By week 10, it's the size of a prune. Bones and cartilage are forming. The elbows already work. Tiny tooth buds are appearing under the gums. If it's a boy, his testes are already producing testosterone. By the end of month 3, your baby is about 3 inches long, the size of a peach. Its face looks distinctly human now. Fingers and toes are no longer webbed. Vocal cords are developing. The digestive system is practicing contractions. Bone marrow is making white blood cells. This is a critical milestone. By the end of this first trimester, all of your baby's major organs and body systems are formed. From here on out, the main job is growing and maturing what's already there. For you, the end of the first trimester often brings welcome relief. For many women, the clouds of morning sickness begin lifting. The deep fatigue starts easing as the placenta takes over the heavy hormonal work. You might start feeling more like yourself again, but new symptoms can show up. You might notice your waist thickening. You might get headaches or feel gassy and bloated. The book addresses each symptom with gentle wisdom. For headaches, it suggests rest and checking with your doctor before taking any medication. For constipation, it recommends the tried-and-true trio: fiber, fluids, and exercise. Month 4 marks the beginning of the second trimester, often called the, quote, honeymoon phase of pregnancy. You're likely feeling better, you're starting to show, and the risk of miscarriage has dropped significantly. Your baby is now the size of your clenched fist. Hair is beginning to sprout on its head. Its body is straightening out. By week 16, your baby is 4 to 5 inches long. Back muscles are strengthening. The eyes can make small side-to-side movements and can even perceive light through those still sealed eyelids. This is also when you might feel the first unmistakable flutter of your baby's movement. The book calls this quickening, and it's an amazing moment. At first, it might feel like a tiny bubble, a gentle twitch, or butterflies in your stomach. It's an easy sensation to miss, especially for first-timers. But once you recognize it, pure magic. It's the first real conversation between you and your child. As your body changes, so does your lifestyle. The book offers guidance on everything from exercise to travel. In most normal pregnancies, exercise isn't just allowed, it's actively encouraged. Activities like walking, swimming, and prenatal yoga can boost your energy, help you sleep better, and prepare your body for labor. The key, Murkoff stresses, is moderation and listening to your body. Travel is also generally safe during the second trimester, though it's always best to check with your practitioner first. Month 5 brings incredible sensory development for your baby. Now the size of a small cantaloupe, your little one is practicing swallowing, sucking, and breathing. An ultrasound this month can often reveal the baby's gender, if you choose to find out. If it's a girl, her uterus is already formed, and her ovaries hold millions of primitive eggs. If it's a boy, his testicles have begun their descent. The baby is covered in a greasy white substance called vernix caseosa, which protects its skin from the amniotic fluid. You're really showing now. Your uterus has risen to your belly button. You might feel aches in your lower abdomen as the ligaments supporting your uterus stretch. Backache can become your constant, unwelcome companion. The book provides practical relief tips. Wear low-heeled supportive shoes. Sleep on your side with a pillow between your knees. Practice pelvic tilts. As you enter month 6, your baby is gaining weight rapidly, doubling in size to about 2 pounds. The skin is still thin and wrinkled, but fat is beginning to fill things out. The lungs are developing surfactant, a crucial substance that'll help them expand with that first breath of air. The baby's eyes are beginning to open, and he or she will react to loud noises or bright lights. Your baby can now hear your voice, your heartbeat, the whoosh of your blood flowing. This is a perfect time to start talking, reading, or singing to your belly. Your baby is absolutely listening. For you, this month can bring some new discomforts. You might develop an itchy belly as the skin stretches. Your innie belly button might pop out and become an outie. You might notice stretch marks appearing on your abdomen, hips, or breasts. Murkoff addresses these with refreshing honesty and reassurance. Stretch marks, she explains, are largely determined by genetics, though gaining weight slowly and steadily can help minimize them. And while countless creams and lotions promise to prevent them, most are little more than expensive moisturizers. She encourages you to see them not as flaws, but as what she calls a red badge of motherhood. Month 7 marks the start of the third and final trimester. The finish line is in sight, but there's still substantial growing to do. Your baby now weighs about 2.5 pounds and is almost 16 inches long. He or she is practicing blinking and is even capable of REM sleep, which means your baby is dreaming. What about? We'll never know, but it's a beautiful thought. You might feel the fatigue returning, this time from carrying the extra weight and from sleep interruptions caused by late pregnancy discomforts. You might experience shortness of breath as your growing uterus presses up against your lungs. Swelling in your ankles and feet becomes common. The book advises resting with your feet up, drinking plenty of water, and keeping your practitioner informed of any sudden or severe swelling. You might also begin feeling Braxton Hicks contractions. These are practice contractions, a tightening of the uterus that's usually painless and irregular. The book explains this is your body's way of warming up for the main event. It provides a clear guide to distinguish these from real labor contractions. Real labor contractions get stronger, longer, and closer together over time, no matter what you do. Month 8 is all about fattening up, for the baby, that is. Your baby will gain about 0.5 pound a week. The brain is developing rapidly, forming the grooves and indentations that'll allow for a lifetime of learning. The baby is also settling into the head-down position in preparation for birth. This is called lightening or dropping, and when it happens, you might suddenly find breathing easier as the pressure on your lungs is relieved. The trade-off? The pressure now shifts to your bladder, meaning even more frequent bathroom trips. Joy. This is an intense preparation time, both for you and your baby. The book guides you through creating a birth plan, a document outlining your preferences for labor and delivery. It's a way to open dialogue with your practitioner about pain relief options, delivery positions, and who you'd like in the room with you. It also encourages you to start thinking about life after the baby arrives, from choosing a pediatrician to considering breastfeeding. The book presents a balanced view of breastfeeding, detailing its incredible benefits for both mother and baby. Breast milk is described as the perfect food, custom-made for a human infant, providing not just nutrition but also antibodies that protect against infection. For mothers, it can help the uterus return to its pre-pregnancy size more quickly, and can even help with postpartum weight loss. But Murkoff also acknowledges that breastfeeding isn't for everyone, and that choosing to bottle feed is valid and personal. The most important thing, she emphasizes, is that the baby is fed with love. And then comes month 9, the waiting game. You're full term now. Your baby could arrive any day. You might feel a surge of energy, the famous nesting instinct, an uncontrollable urge to clean, organize, and prepare your home for the new arrival. Or you might feel completely exhausted, ready for this pregnancy to be over already. Both reactions are totally normal. The book becomes indispensable in these final weeks, helping you distinguish between signs of pre-labor, false labor, and true labor. Pre-labor signs can include losing the mucus plug that's been sealing your cervix, or the bloody show, a pink-tinged discharge signaling your cervix is starting to change. False labor contractions are irregular and usually disappear if you change position. True labor contractions persist and grow in intensity, no matter what you do. The climax of this 9-month story is, of course, labor and delivery. The book demystifies this process, breaking it down into 3 stages. Stage 1 is labor itself, and it's the longest. It's divided into 3 phases. Early labor is when your cervix gradually thins out and opens to about 3 centimeters. Contractions are mild and might feel like menstrual cramps. This is relax at home time. Take a walk, watch a movie, conserve your energy. Active labor is when things get serious. Your cervix dilates from 3 to 7 centimeters. Contractions become stronger, longer, and closer together. This is when you'll head to the hospital or birthing center. The final phase of stage 1 is transition. It's the most intense, but also the shortest. Your cervix opens the final few centimeters to a full 10. You might feel shaky, nauseous, or completely overwhelmed, but it means you're almost there. Stage 2 is the pushing and delivery of your baby. This can last anywhere from a few minutes to a few hours. You'll feel an overwhelming urge to push, and you'll work with your body and your birth team to bring your baby into the world. You'll see your baby's head crown, and with a final push, your baby will be born. It's a moment of profound effort and profound relief, all at once. Stage 3 is the delivery of the placenta, which usually happens within half an hour after the baby is born. And just like that, the 9-month journey is over. A completely new one has begun. The postpartum period, the first 6 weeks after birth, is a time of recovery and adjustment. Your body has been through a monumental event and needs time to heal. You'll experience vaginal bleeding called lochia. Your uterus will cramp as it shrinks back to size, and you'll be utterly, completely exhausted. If you're breastfeeding, your milk will come in, which can cause your breasts to become painfully engorged for a few days. But the biggest adjustment is emotional. The baby blues are incredibly common, affecting up to 80% of new mothers. It's a period of weepiness, anxiety, and sadness, brought on by a massive hormonal crash, sleep deprivation, and the overwhelming reality of caring for a newborn. The book reassures you this is normal and temporary. However, it also provides clear guidance on recognizing signs of postpartum depression, a more serious condition requiring professional help. For fathers, the postpartum period is also a time of huge adjustment. The book includes a dedicated chapter for dads, acknowledging their unique fears, joys, and challenges. It encourages them to be active partners, to bond with the baby, to support their recovering spouse, and to be patient with changes in their relationship, including their sex life. The book also addresses the difficult and painful topic of pregnancy complications and loss. It does so with immense compassion and clarity. It explains conditions like miscarriage, ectopic pregnancy, and preeclampsia, not to create fear, but to provide knowledge. For those who experience the heartbreak of losing a pregnancy, it offers guidance on grieving and healing, reminding them they're not alone and that there is hope for the future. And for those expecting multiples, there's a whole section dedicated to the unique journey of a multiple pregnancy. It covers everything from increased nutritional needs and weight gain to the higher likelihood of preterm labor and the complexities of delivering twins or more. It's a specialized guide for a very special kind of pregnancy. From the first thought of creating a family to the first weeks of caring for a newborn, What to Expect When You're Expecting serves as a comprehensive, compassionate, and unwavering guide. It transforms a journey that can feel isolating and frightening into one that feels shared and manageable. It takes the mystery out of the miracle without taking away any of the magic. When you step back and look at the real impact of What to Expect When You're Expecting, you realize it's way more than just a book. It's a cultural touchstone. It fundamentally changed how we talk about and experience pregnancy. Before Heidi Murkoff came along, pregnancy was often treated as a medical condition, something to be managed by doctors with the mother as basically a passive patient. This book completely shifted that power dynamic. It armed women and their partners with knowledge, and in doing so gave them genuine confidence. It transformed them from patients into active participants in their own journey. The most powerful lesson, I believe, is the theme of reassurance. that runs through absolutely every page. Pregnancy is a time of profound uncertainty. Every new sensation, every strange ache can trigger a wave of anxiety. Is this normal? Is the baby okay? Am I doing something wrong? The book's greatest strength is its calm, steady voice that says, over and over again, yes, this is normal. You're not alone. Here's what's happening, and here's what you can do about it. It replaces fear with understanding, and that is an incredible gift to an expectant parent navigating uncharted waters. Another key lesson is the emphasis on partnership. This isn't just a book for mothers. It's a book for parents. The inclusion of the father's perspective, his anxieties, his role, was genuinely revolutionary at the time. It frames pregnancy not as a solo mission, but as a team effort. It recognizes that fathers aren't just bystanders. They're expectant, too, with their own journey of transformation to navigate. This focus on communication and mutual support is crucial, because the teamwork required during pregnancy lays the foundation for the teamwork required for a lifetime of parenting. So how can you apply the wisdom of this book in your own life, even if pregnancy is a distant thought or not in your plans at all? First, embrace the power of preparation. The book's emphasis on preconception health is a powerful metaphor for anything in life. The best results, whether in building a family, a career, or a creative project, often come from laying a strong foundation before the real work even begins. Take care of your health, your relationships, and your mindset now, and you'll be better prepared for whatever great adventures lie ahead. Second, learn to distinguish between what you can control and what you can't. You can control your diet, your exercise, and your choice of healthcare provider. You can't control your genetics, your hormones, or the unpredictable path that labor might take. The book teaches a beautiful balance of taking proactive steps where you can, while gracefully accepting what you cannot change. This is a profound lesson in resilience that applies to absolutely every aspect of life. Finally, trust in the process, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Pregnancy is a natural process, but it's also incredibly complex. The book encourages you to trust your body's wisdom, but it also empowers you to be your own advocate, to ask questions, and to seek support when you need it, from your partner, your doctor, and your community. Life, like pregnancy, is not meant to be a solo journey. We're wired for connection and support. That was a summary of What to Expect When You're Expecting by Heidi Murkoff. We've explored the main path of this incredible journey today, but remember, a summary can only ever be a map. The real treasure is found by walking the trail yourself. The book is filled with details, personal stories, and a depth of reassurance that can only be experienced by reading it cover to cover. Consider this summary your invitation. If any part of this journey has sparked your curiosity or touched your heart, I encourage you to pick up a copy. It's more than a book. It's a companion, and for millions of people, it's been an essential part of one of life's greatest adventures. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this summary valuable, please show some love by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It lets us know we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book. Let's keep learning and growing together.